Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that of the story we're going to cover today. Now, I know you see Daredevil 197 in your screen, and I'm going to cover it very quickly. I'm actually going to cover 187, 198, and 199 super quickly because we're going to get to Uncanny X-Men 205. So why am I going to show you Daredevil 197, 198, and 199, you ask? Well, this is the first appearance of Lady Deathstrike before she became Lady Deathstrike. I'm also going to show you Alpha Flight 33 and 34, where she actually becomes Lady Deathstrike, and then we will cover Uncanny X-Men 205. So this is going to be very quick. I know you're probably used to me kind of giving you the what's up. In this case, I'll link the description of these issues on the down so that you can look at them. So this is actually going to be Lady Deathstrike right here, but she has no powers. She has nothing. She's a normal human being. And of course, we got Daredevil looking for Bullseye, and they're in Japan. Denny O'Neil begins his run, and so he's looking for Bullseye, and he's going to Japan. So Klaus Janson is sort of making things up, but Klaus Janson is leaving the title, so he won't be around for much too long. Again, none of this matters. I'm just gonna show you Deathstrike, and so he's on this airplane. I love this. It looks like it's on fire, but it's not. And so, you see here, he's gonna go into this boat, and here he's going to confront and find this woman, and he thought it was Bullseye, but she's being held prisoner. This is Lady Deathstrike, but she's not going to be going by that name. Now, why they chose her to become Lady Deathstrike in Alpha Flight is beyond me, but Daredevil, she's not a bad guy in this issue, and she's actually going to be helping Daredevil. So it was kind of strange that this is who they chose to be Lady Deathstrike, because there was no hinting of this. So Daredevil fighting some thugs, and again, this story is about him trying to get Daredevil. Again, this is Lady Deathstrike, and this is actually her first appearance. She's got two first appearances. This is her normal self first appearance. It's just a normal person, but then the Lady Deathstrike, when she becomes Lady Deathstrike, that's Alpha Flight 33. She appears for a panel, kind of like Wolverine did in a Hulk 187. So here she has a mark, and you can see, am I not ugly? And he's like, to my eyes, no, of course, he's blind. So, all right. And so, see, I told you it was going to be very quick. Carl Potts, look at doing the cover. So, all right. And so we're going to continue with, and you can see that Klaus Janson is done. And so, again, we still have Lady Deathstrike here. And I forgot her name, but you can look up her name on, this is Ben Urich. So, again, I'm just trying to get to X-Men 205. I do apologize. That I just wanted to show you, but I'm, like I mentioned, I'm not really covering this story, but I am showing you that she had adventures before, because when I first read X-Men 205, I was very confused. I'm like, who the hell is this? And I didn't read Alpha Flight, and I was unaware at the when I was young. I didn't really get into Daredevil till right after Born Again. So I got into Daredevil during the John Romita Jr. era. I had no idea of anything that happened previously in Daredevil, so I had missed her first appearance. I missed anything. So when Uncanny X-Men 205, I'm like, who the hell is this person? So so I just kind of wanted to give you guys at least something. So if you guys ever wanna, this is available in one of the Epic collections, but I actually have this in Daredevil, the oh my gosh, it's the volume 18. So here's the last part that features I forgot what it's called, but the Masterworks, Marvel Masterworks, the Daredevil volume 18. So, and this is all going to lead to issue 200, which is Daredevil versus Bullseye for the final time till the next time they fight here. And so I love him as much as I hate my father for giving me this. So this is what's going to be kind of funny. So she doesn't care for her father, yet she's going to fight for her father's honor when she tries to take on Wolverine and get the oh my goodness gracious, get the adamantium. So all right, and so it's kind of a bit it's not a bad story per se, but again, I'm not trying to concern myself with the story. I'm just giving you background. So and after this we will look real quick at Alpha Flight. Now, the Alpha Flight, Marvel has really done a really bad job collecting Alpha Flights and in digital format. And so I'm not going to be using a website that'll allow us to sort of look at it. And so but it won't be quite like this, or more like scan. So this ends that first trio of stories here. All right, so now we are going to be looking real quick at Alpha Fight 33 and 34. Real cool cover by Mike Mignola here. See the X-Men taking on Vindicator. Again, we're going to do kind of like that Daredevil story. The neat thing is most of it just kind of fits right in this page here. So she's off to go get Wolverine. And again, we're not concerning ourselves with the story or what's going on. I am just here to get to the important thing, which is Lady Deathstrike here. So, and here, so Vindicator's going. Sal Buscema is the penciler. He was doing this and Thor at the same time. So, she's gonna go, and the Magneto attacks her because he doesn't know that it's her. And yes, I know I said Magneto and it should be Magneto, but sometimes it's a force of habit. So here we are, and this is the first appearance of oh my god, I forgot her name. I really did forget her name, but she's gonna be after Wolverine. You can see she's still human, by the way. So she's not a cyborg at all. So the rest, she doesn't appear then till the very end. We're gonna have kind of how they first met Wolverine, and so this is the original Guardian, and this is after he had escaped Weapon X. So, and God, Buscema, he can be, he's so, I don't know, not dynamic, but of course now it's she's got Yukio is not Yukio. I keep saying Yukio, but it's not Yukio. But here she's come with the ninjas here, and She says, Wolverine son, you battle with misappropriated power. That which must be that which was stolen must now be returned. So you wonder what the heck is she talking about? Well, let's see here. So great cover. You gotta be watch yourself. This site has a ton of adware. Good thing I have ad blockers and use stuff to prevent it. But even then, so just FYI, go to these sites on your own risk. Make sure you have a great pop-up blocker. So Alpha Flight 34 again, and here's Deathstrike, and she is like I mentioned, normal here. So again, don't care what the story is. I really don't follow Alpha Flight other than the part with John Byrne here, but he's gone now. So, all right, so we got Wolverine here. It says, lady, you just accused me of being some kind of thief. In my book, those are fighting words. And, of course, they're speaking in Japanese. And she says, though the truth may be hard to bear for a man of honor, Wolverine-san, it is nevertheless the truth. I repeat, you possess misappropriated power. That which was stolen must now be returned. So, what is she talking about? Well, we're going to see in just a moment here. So, her name is Yuriko, not Yukio. Yukio is the other one there. So, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Anyway, so she says, I am Lady Deathstrike. I come to avenge the honor of my father and my clan. So, again, if you remember that line, it just doesn't seem to make much sense. But again, I hadn't read that story in forever, and we didn't really just read it. So, just going off memory here. And so Wolverine asks, you know who I am? And she says, by reputation only, from what little information is available. And so I recall hearing that you were once an operative of the Canadian Secret Service, and now you're one of the outlaw hero X-Men. You're also betrothed of Lady Mariko of Clan Yashida. And Wolverine says, sounds like you know as much as I do. So, Clan Yashida is second only to the Emperor of Japan himself in power. Though Clan Yashida would rest at nothing until your death was avenged, and though I did not expect to find you in possession of that which was stolen from my father, honor compels me to reclaim it. This despite the threat of future retribution, and whether or not you had anything to do with it. And Wolverine says, yeah, honor, that I can understand. And Guardian's like, Logan, you're getting ready to fight her. Why? What does she want? And so she switches to English here. She says, I will explain in her language that I have come to recover the fruits of a scientific experiment conducted by my father, stolen from his laboratory over decades ago and implanted into a human subject. In short, Wolverine-san, I claim your adamantium skeletons. And he says, you've come for my bones. And so, we're going to get a bit of a quick origin of those stories here. The adamantium skeleton and the retractable adamantium claws, which extrude from your reinforced bones at will, were never rightfully yours. They were a product of experiments conducted by my father, Lord Darkwind, in his dreams to resurrect Japan's honor by creating an army of invincible warriors. His dreams were dashed by the intervention of the American hero Daredevil. He sought to prevent my father from mending the shattered spine of Daredevil's mortal enemy, Bullseye. And she continues here, but Lord Darkwind's demise came at my hands, the hands of his own daughter. I hated my father for the mark he had caused my brothers and me to bear, a scar setting us apart from the others, marking us as loyal to our father's cause, whether we were or not. And I hated him for the fanaticism he bred in his followers, such as they felt themselves unable to live without him. And so that would be that Kira that she loved, like her boyfriend. And so he kills himself. And he's like, Kira, my beloved, no, I have set you free from my father free. So here you can see this must have been in Daredevil 200 because I stopped at 199. So anyway, but there was no escaping my father's fervor even after his death. I fled from his house, but I soon found that I could not flee from his memory. So, good origin here. So, we continue here. As my grief ebbed, I began to wonder who my father truly was and what he had stood for, that he inspired so much devotion in others. Sorry, it's a little bit small, so I have to. And I found that I knew so little about his past. So I began to learn that he was a hero in the war. So that'd be World War II. He was a famous pilot here. Honor compelled him to crash. So he was kamikaze. Honor compelled him to crash his explosive laden plane into an American ship, but father's deadly cargo failed to detonate, denying him a glorious death. Scarred and shamed, he became a prisoner of war. From that day forth, he was determined to restore Japan's tarnished honor and his own. His code of honor attracted devotees. He scarred his children as he himself had been scarred, as a sign of superiority. And so, a soldier of both empire, he believed must be strong in both body and mind. In his quest for the ultimate warrior, he turned to the science, inventing a process for bonding to brittle human bone the very rare, near invincible metal called adamantium. Then his formula was stolen. He never knew by whom. It took him precious decades to reinvent the process, only to die after seeing it successfully restore the paralyzed bullseye. That would have been in issue 200. And so, as I mentioned before, we didn't cover that. Sorry. I just thought it was 1 through 199. So, having at last understood what drove my father, I who had slain him came to embrace his goal of restoring our homelands. Look at that. It explains everything. Homeland's honor, though the creation of an army of super soldiers. But that secret died with Darkwind. To recover it, I knew I should have to find one who had benefited from it. That meant tracking Bullseye via his adamantium implant. To my surprise, Wolverine-san, that search instead led me to you. So, all right. So we are just going to kind of now keep going. Now that we see this, they'll probably have a fight. Again, we're going through that origin where they first met Wolverine. And so here is Wolverine against the Lady Deathstrike and those soldiers. And just remember that she is still human. So off they go. And so Vindicator is going to help, and she's like, although Wolverine companion possesses power, she must not impede our plans. Kill her and take Wolverine dead or alive. So here we go. And so these are actual pretty good scans taken from the original issues. So, and again, go to this website at your own risk, and if you do, it's a lot of viruses in there that are things that so now off they go, the two of them fighting here. You see, Wolverine-san, my blade like yours does not break, so it's also made out of he has adamantium. He says no, but electromagnetically tampered. There's no other blade like it. It was another invention of my father's. How fitting, then, that I shall reclaim that which you stole from him, even though he had nothing to do with it. So, all right. And so here comes Puck, and he hits Wolverine on by accident here, and she slashes the ship, and so he bolts out, and so here comes Guardian or Vindicator, and throws that lady into the tree. And she says, "You're even more powerful than at first I thought, woman. But my armor bore the brunt of your assault. You wear none, I see. Will your costume protect you against my metal slicing sword?" And Vindicator says, "Try it." And so she says, "I shall." And so you can see her thing in here, and they're going through, but it breaks, and her suit is also electromagnetic, and so um, and then whatever. So it must continue then to the next issue, and so it does, which does not have Lady Deathstrike. So we are done with that. And so we get to the main event, Uncanny X-Men 205 from 1986. Can't really tell, but I have several copies of this issue. I have a beat up copy because I must have looked at this issue a gazillion times when I was young. I love this issue. I adore this issue, and Barry Windsor Smith is a freaking artistic genius and the greatest colorist of this era, even though he only colored himself. Barry Windsor Smith is amazing. I have covered his Weapon X run. Feel free to check that out. So we are now going, and Lady Deathstrike is going into Spiral's workshop. Now, Spiral appeared in, I actually knew who she was because I had the Long Shot Limited series. And so we got the Body Shop here will make a new you. And so ripping, tearing, burning, screaming, pleading. God, look at the coloring. Why me? Ice, heart, fire, breath, soul, minds, thoughts, I am. Who, what, shedding, shredding, forming, change, same, different. So very weird things here: pain, joy, rage, glory. Now, these three gentlemen here will eventually join the Reavers. These are the Hellfire Club soldiers that Wolverine slashed way back in the Dark Phoenix saga. So they made other appearances before, but this is their last appearance, I believe, until the Reaver saga, which will come in the 230s, so about 30 issues or so from now. So Triumph, Despair, Oblivion, Blessed. And so we have Spiral here. Awareness, and so Sight, me. And so here is Lady Deathstrike. This is a Lady Deathstrike that we all know now. So and here she is. Look at this. And she says, "What have I done?" Look at the coloring. This is just freaking amazing, amazing, amazing. I've been so excited to do this issue here. Blood tastes acrid, metallic, flesh bonded to steel, ever living forever, dead images crash, thoughts race, reality, perceptions twisting slowly, slowly into place. Her eyes sparkle with hatred. And so this would be Spiral here. She is a shark, huntress, and predator, and I yearn to be, as I yearned to be, must be, shall be, am. Her jagged teeth savage my soul, I am no more. And so Spiral says, "I am Spiral. Regain your center, breathe, restore order to thoughts and being. The nutrient bath was the final stage. Your biomed transmutation has been successfully Sorry, has been completed successful. And so she's a cyborg like us. This is one of the Reavers here. Cybernetic organism, Reese. Yes. So, but Lady Deathstrike is nothing like you and your men. And so, here, she's a living weapon, a true and ultimate woman of war. She mocks me, but I do not care. And look at that. My foe, the X-Man, Wolverine, has unbreakable bones and claws that will cut through anything. Now, milady, so do you. Look at this coloring. Look at this art. My God, he is. Oh, Barry Windsor Smith is just beautiful. I love it. Um, and so Deathstrike says, but can the process be reversed? Spiral, when my mission is complete, you agree to restore not only my humanity, but that of my associates as well. And Spiral says, the body shop guarantees satisfaction. I love the coloring. Oh my God, it's just beautiful. Owe your money back. And so, great deal. Too great. Hey, Reese, this on the level? And he says, does it matter? Whatever happens, we'll be no worse off than we are. All we have to do to earn a hefty chunk of change and maybe a whole lot more besides is track down and most likely kill the man we hate the most. And Spiral says, how amusing to desire that which was never really yours, this so-called humanity, to dream of regaining it through the murder of another. And lastly, to dance with the devil, believing you will spin away with your soul intact and untamed. Domo arigato, Spiral. You have done this for what you have done this night. Oyama Yuriko is eternally grateful. Lady Yuriko, it was my pleasure. So that's why I thought it was. I kept saying Yukio, but it wasn't her. But this is, this is so great. And so here we go. And so Chris Claremont lets us know we're in South Street in the Seaport on the lower East River shore of Manhattan Island. He always lets us know kind of where we are here. And so we get Lady Deathstrike narrating, when my father was my age, he flew a kamikaze, a suicide mission against our country's enemies, but he failed, returning home in disgrace. For the rest of his life, he sought to atone for that shame. Here, too, he failed because of me, and his task fell upon my unworthy shoulders. The key is Wolverine, and the secret locked within his gauged brain. His will is the immovable object, but mine is an irresistible force that shall not be denied. He will break or be destroyed, or I shall. And so we're going to have the Power Pack kids in here. Louise Simonson at this time was writing Power Pack, and of course Louise Simonson used to be the editor on X-Men. So Chris Claremont has great affinity for her and wanted to just give the kids a bit of exposure. And the other great thing, this coloring is just beautiful. And the windows, you can see it, the yellow reflecting on the people, and right here on the windows, it's just beautiful. God, Barry Windsor Smith. This book, particularly in the newsprint, I mean, you're seeing it here all shiny in the digital version, but looking at this book in newsprint is quite something. And so we have Katie Power here from Power Pack here, and this person says, how we doing, Katie? All washed up? Need any help? Yes, Miss Randolph. No, Miss Randolph. And she's like, what does she think I am? A baby? I'm 5 years old. And then she can't reach the machine to dry her hand. And I love how the panels are set up on this splash page. I love the purples here, the blues, the yellows, the oranges. Barry Windsor Smith, what a master he is at coloring here. The other thing he liked to do is the white. I hate being little adults think you can't do anything. Oh, sorry. I hate being little. Adults think you can't do anything. Miss Randolph isn't looking. I'll use my energizer power to disintegrate the water on my hands. Jeez, that tingles. Was that you giggling, Katie? Uh-huh. What's so funny? I'm ready, Miss Randolph. Can we get back to the choir? I don't want to miss any singing. And so they go out, and she goes, all right, Eager Beaver. Goodness, how'd the weather get so rotten so quickly? Hold my hand tight, Katie Power, till we rejoin the others. Yes, ma'am. Is this a blizzard, Miss Randolph? It looks neat. Where we used to live, it never snowed like this. And you can see all this stuff here. And, ouch, the snow sting. What was that? And you can see kind of this howling. Miss Randolph, someone's yelling. And of course, we got he runs into them. Reese Macon's down, but I got a clear shot. Man, who'd have figured that crazy mutie would even move after what Deathstrike did to him as he runs into both of them. That man hit us. He's shooting a gun. Where's Miss Randolph? I can't see her. Miss Randolph, it's Katie Power. Miss. And suddenly, the greatest splash page, or one of the greatest splash pages ever. Wounded Wolf, a solo adventure starring Wolverine of the Uncanny X-Men. And she's like, Randolph, Chris Claremont, story script, Barry Windsor Smith, story, art, and colors. And we're going to talk a lot about these colors because look at this. We've got shades of blues, orange, you got the white, the gray, actual blue, very the same blue kind of that's in the sky right there, just a little bit, just amazing here how he goes about this, and it is absolutely beautiful. Thomas Zukowski, Anna Senni, and Jim Shooter round things off. A little magenta on the boots as she looks at Wolverine here. It is so freaking cool. This is just an amazing splash page. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I absolutely freaking love it. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to turn the page because I could stare at this page for hours. Just beautiful here. And so, run where you like, Wolverine. I shall follow. And so, Lady Deathstrike keeps narrating. Your death will help avenge my father. Mine will be a welcome release. Either way, I win. And he pulls out his claws here again, some of the yellows. Mr. Logan, is it really you? And then she screams here as she sees him pulling his claws here. The claws, they're a part of you. Mr. Logan, are you going to hurt me? And he hears the sirens here. Just look, policemen, they'll help me. But what about Mr. Logan? Has he done something wrong? Will they arrest him, she thinks here. Again, the white, the bluish gray, the orange, the sort of orangey flesh color here. Just beautiful how he creates these. I'd never seen anything like this. I was a teenager when I was 12 years old, so almost a teenager. So I was 12 years old when this story came out. I remember just saying, this is the craziest thing I had ever seen. How impactful, how wonderful. This is just so good. And so Wolverine's growling here. And so the lady cop says, okay, buddy, step away from the girl. We got a crazy here, Sid. Listen, the guy, he's growling. And Wolverine picks her up, and Katie says, hey, let go. And the cop says, put her down. And the guy cop says, take it easy, fella. No one's going to hurt you. He's running, and call for backups. And so Katie says, Mr. Wolverine, what are you doing? This is wrong. Those policemen were friends. You're holding too tight. It hurts. Put me down, she says, as he runs here, and just the effects of the headlights hitting the moisture is just so kinetic, so crazy. And so Katie continues saying, stop it, stop it, stop it. And so she thinks here, I keep hitting him, but he doesn't seem to notice. And she says, I thought you were my friend. And then she goes, please, you're scaring me. And then she thinks, I will not be scared. A baby gets scared, and I'm no baby. I'm an Energizer, part of Power Pack. And so she uses her power here. And the coloring, which is a big part of this story, is just insane. The coloring of this issue is on par with the Iron Man story, the finale of Armor Wars, which I will be getting to. I'm almost there, but not quite. And it's I think Barry Windsor Smith is an even better colorist than he is an artist, and I think he's a phenomenal artist. Um, I'm very sad that he doesn't color like this anymore. I mean, he's retired, but when I say is he uses now digital coloring, and it's just he uses like a full palette, and there's nothing like seeing this in newsprint and the limitations of newsprint and seeing the magic that he could do in newsprint is just insane here. Cartoonist Kayfabe actually has this story as well, and of course they use the single issue to be able to see it, so you can see what it looks like in newsprint here. So, excuse me. Katie continues here thinking, I fired off the biggest Powerball I could and blew it up right in front of us. That made him drop me. And then she goes, yuck, I got snow in my boots. I'm wet and I'm cold. I better run while I can. But first, she thinks as she looks at Wolverine here. I'll disintegrate this garbage can to power myself up in case I need to make another Powerball. I better get out of my school clothes too. And then she gets her costume on. If he makes a move, I'll. But how can I? He's an X-Men, a hero, a friend. Friends don't hurt friends, Mr. Logan. Why did you? What's wrong? Don't you know me? Mr. Logan, are you sick? She says here. And again, now a different shade of purple with light blue, kind of like pink almost right here. 2 shades of blue right here. His hair is another shade of blue. Oh, goodness gracious. And look, the lines here on the boots, not even, it's just beautiful here. So, and so she again continues thinking here. He's covered in blood. He's been hurt. And then out loud she says, who was it those was it those guys who hit me and Miss Randolph? Did they beat you up, Mr. Wolverine? Come on, we gotta find somebody to help us or a place to hide. It's snowing so hard I can barely see. What street is this? I don't know where we are or which way to go, she says. And so here come the Reavers. I'm gonna start calling them Reavers because that's eventually what they're gonna be. But and so she says, he doesn't answer me. All he does is make growly noises like an animal. How can anyone be hurt so bad? They even forget how to talk. And then she goes, oh. And so she's gonna try and help him here. Wolverine snarled, those must be the bad guys. They'll catch us if you keep crawling, Mr. Logan. You gotta get up. Please try, she says. That's it. And then she's like, what if he falls? He's too heavy for me to lift or drag away. And so they're coming closer. Have they seen us, she thinks. Let's go. And so Wolverine, by the way, Wolverine's missing one of his boots here. So, all right. Where's the telephone? If I found one, I could call Power Pack to rescue us, or Wolverine's teammates, the X-Men. Should I leave him and go look for one? And then she continues, suppose I get lost from Wolverine, then and can't find my way back. And so here they come. I'm telling you, when I saw this, again, put yourself in a 12-year-old's, and this is insane. You know, we watch this and read this as adults, and we can make total sense, but kids were also buying this, including me. And as a 12-year-old, you're looking at this just trying to make sense because the story is so different. And for once, Chris Claremont isn't narrating or giving you all this exposition that he normally does here. And so I just remember reading this just so crazy. And so, anyway, Katie says, I bet I missed the carol singing. Darn it. I practiced so hard. This is your fault, Mr. Wolverine. Everyone must have gone home because of the storm. The whole city's probably empty. And so she sees the taxi cab here. And she goes, Mister, wait, stop. Yo, sweetheart, this ain't a night for a stroll. And so she says, please, my uncle, some nasty people beat him up. And he says, did a pretty fair job, too. By the look of him, poor devil. He's not a devil, even if he's scary as one. Just an expression yesterday. Didn't mean anything by it. Roads are pits tonight, but I'll get him to the hospital. Thank you. Please hurry. I think they're following. And so here they come. Just again, the difference in the coloring and how absolutely beautiful. And so, relax, Mr. Logan. Everything's going to be all right. And he pops his claws. You can see the snake here. Wolverine! And he pops them here. Although those look like Deathstrikes. And so she comes shooting out of the car here. Hey, you crazy man, what do you? Take your hands off her. And then, I don't know, one of the Reavers shoots and blam, kavoom. And the driver makes his way out. And you see all the lines. You can definitely tell this is going to be a huge influence on Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane, how the art had begun to change in the mid-'80s here. And she yells out, Wolverine! He threw the driver out. He saved him, but he still... And then, let's see here, who's narrating this. Her first and only reaction is to cry. Tears come unbidden. Biden? I don't know. Flows unstopped, rough surrogates for emotions too great for voice or gesture. In that awful instant, his pain becomes hers, but strangely, strength is shared as well as he picks her up. So this must be Claremont narrating it here. So coming through the fire here, it's just wonderful. And enabling her to endure, him to struggle onwards as they continue. He jumps the fence. We're falling, says Katie. Some kind of hole, ouch, in the ground. Woof. And you can see they're rolling down. And so eventually they hit here. And so she goes, ow, my nose is bleeding. I hate this. I hate you, Mr. Wolverine. I wish we'd never met, she says. Oh, no, I don't. That isn't so. I didn't mean to say such a rotten thing. I'm a rotten little girl. I'll get you home safe, I promise. And so he starts speaking in Japanese, saying, Boku wa dare or dare. What'd you say? Mr. Logan, you said a word, I think. Mr. Logan, can't you speak like me? What am I? And so he's speaking in Japanese. I know you girl. Why do I not know myself? So wonderful. Close up on both their eyes here and him popping his claws. Just beautiful. Oh, and the coloring. I don't know how to tell you how much this issue impacted me and how I viewed even comics myself growing up here. So he yells here, howls. Again, Katie's eyes burns with tears. Not this time for the pain of his body, but for the terrible anguish in his voice. And so she takes off her costume. I hope this makes you a little warmer. He says, Domo arigato. I think that means thank you. My daddy had the same look in his eyes. When he thought Mommy was going to die, it was like he'd lost everything that was important to him. And so he finally says in English, with me, Katie girl, it's pretty much the same. Mr. Logan, you remember, you're yourself. Not yet, not by a long shot, says Wolverine, but I'm getting there, thanks to you. The same way my healing factor repairs my body, it's restoring my mind. And she says, so the party isn't over? Sorry. The party isn't over, he says. We need cover. And so Katie says, not so fast, I can't keep up. Your legs are longer, as he grabs her by the hand. And so Lady Deathstrike says, Reese, don't shoot. I could nail him easy. And Deathstrike says, I want that pleasure for myself. And Reese says, he's too dangerous. And Deathstrike says, he's badly wounded, little better than an animal. Lady, that makes it worse, says Reese. And so Wolverine says, they're following. And here they come. And so Katie says, I'll disintegrate something big, real big, and fry them with my power balls, or maybe disintegrate them. And Wolverine says, you will not. But they're trying to kill you. And he says, that's my lookout. I want to help. You've done so buying time for me to heal. These are old foes of mine, Katie. With old scores to settle, this is a grudge fight. Leave them to me. But what'll I do? Maybe the hardest thing you've ever done, and the bravest. I want you to trust me, says Wolverine. And so here they come. And one of the Reavers says, stupid broad, should have let you ice him, Reese. You asked me, she's a psycho. So are we, buddy. And so we've got these vertical panels here. And so again, Wolverine pops his claws. He's right underneath him here. And that's different. It's Wolverine's fault we're cyborgs. What's her excuse? Reese proximity A1A. And he screams as Wolverine just chucks him here. Skucked. Oh my goodness. And Deathstrike, Cole's been hit. His Metstat says he's hurt. Odds are shifting, lady. We go or stay. And Deathstrike says, do as you wish, Reese. My place is here. And he says, your funeral. And so, out of action, just like McCoon was what he was saying here before they decided to bolt. So, and probably mine as well. And you can see one of them is down. Reese, the girl makes Wolverine vulnerable. And so Wolverine's coming. Find her. Take her hostage. And our battle is won, says Deathstrike here. So much change from that Daredevil when we saw her there. It's never that easy. Proximity warning. And so you can see it going beep, 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 beep. And he's after me. Nice try, Muty, as he shoots him. That was point blank. No way he could have survived, he says. And guess again, chump, as he just puts his claws right through him here. And so Lady Deathstrike says, Reese, acknowledge Reese. And Wolverine in Japanese says, you're wasting your time. He's done. And so are you. And so we've got Wolverine, Lady Deathstrike, part 2 here. And she says here, I hoped, prayed, I knew our duel would end like this. Hunter and hunted, warriors, both face to face, alone, burning their sins away with blood. And so, just wonderful stuff here. And with only their skill and courage and steel to save them, of we two, only the best shall survive. And we've got, this is the Lady Deathstrike that we're used to, but that's why I wanted to show you those her first appearance before this, in case you'd never seen it. And again, we got this beautiful, very bright red here to counteract the blue here, and the warmer colors on them. And so, why, Yuriko, this doesn't have to be. And she says, I am my father's daughter, bound by his dream as I am honored by his name. And Wolverine says, the man is dead, and the dreams were mad. And Deathstrike says, that changes nothing. A child is but a shadow of the parent. In death, even more than life, so long as his work remains unfinished. His dream unfulfilled, I am but the palest reflection of my father. My own life cannot begin. I do this to win my freedom. The Japanese people are very honor bound. Their culture is very conservative. And so this is a big part of it. So that's why most Japanese are not very liberal. And so a fool's dream, Deathstrike, a false hope as they fight here. That Gaijin is my choice. Gaijin, I think, means outsider. Um, and so she, well, I wouldn't say punches him, but what hits him or whatever with her claws, cuts him here. And so you are a mutant. Your powers are the gifts of nature. Mine are of technology. I'm faster than you, stronger. My claws are sharper, she says as she digs him in. Your life's road is at an end, Wolverine. And Logan here, eyes closed here, he says, that lady is my choice as he slashes at her. I'll kick when I'm ready, and that ain't tonight as he begins hacking at her here. And boom, man, look at this. If you don't think a 12, you know, 11, 12, or 13-year-old reading this doesn't go, wow, it's this is just something. I know that as we're spoiled with how comic books are now as far as the art goes, but look at this. This is just something not done. And look at Wolverine. Look at um, this is just insane here. And he goes, my God, Yuriko, and sees her all cybernetic. It was necessary to become like you. And nice vertical banners. Um, the better to slay me, asked Wolverine. My healing factor makes me a mutant, lacing my bones with adamantium and giving me these claws. That was done to me. During this time, the claws were engineered. They weren't part of him. At least that's how it was believed. It wasn't until after Magneto took away his adamantium that it was discovered that he actually had the claws to begin with. And so, but you asked to be changed. You did this to yourself. Threw away a humanity. I'd pretty much near anything. Sorry, give pretty much near anything to possess. And so, your old man would be proud. You're a carbon copy. What a waste, he says here. I've lost. Worse, I have failed. My life is forfeit. That'd solve all your problems, wouldn't it? He says. And so he looks at her all down, all beaten here, just beautiful, and him all cut. I love the blood. This is such a good thing. But it won't be that easy. You made me an animal again, Deathstrike. Took me back to a time in my life I thought I'd put behind me. Animal and man, each has his own reason for killing. None apply here. The threads that bind us can only be broken by death. Father, so long as you block my path, my spirit remains trapped, stillborn, he says as Wolverine is walking away. And so you can see we get closer here. And she says, show mercy, I beg you. Let me free. And he says, earn it, and puts his claws away, and you see the familiar snacked. So it's snicked when they come out and snacked when they are put away here as she kind of reaches. And so he walks to, he says, you can open your eyes, Energizer. It's safe, as he sees Kitty. I did what you asked, Mr. Wolverine. I didn't see or hear anything. He says, good. What happened, did you? And Wolverine says, I won't lie, Kitty girl. There's a part of me as wild and fierce as my namesake. I'm a hard man given to hard ways. When I fight, it's to win. That isn't pretty and sure isn't nice. But being a man, that means choosing to grow and change and put aside the old ways. Some people can't, or worse, won't do that. Like that lady and her creep, says Katie. He says, yup. That's sad. He says, yup. I was scared of you, Mr. Wolverine. And he says, I know. Are you still? And she says, a little. And Wolverine says, no matter what happens, you'll always have a friend to run to, Katie. That is, if you want. And she says, and so, Mr. Logan, will you? And so we finally ended here, and he says, "Come on, little darling, storm's lifting. Let's go home." And we get the fin here. This is a beautiful story. I absolutely freaking love it. God. Um, so I hope you enjoyed seeing the beginnings of Lady Deathstrike. I'm sorry I didn't do issue 200 of Daredevil. I for some reason I thought it ended in 199, but hey, so maybe something for another time here. So, and then the two Alpha Flights 33 and 34, seeing what led Deathstrike to then change herself to try and defeat Wolverine. So, all in all, I hope you enjoyed it. I love this particular story. Uncanny X-Men 205 is one of my favorite single issues of Chris Claremont's um, Wolverine run. I'm sorry, Wolverine run, X-Men run. It's just beautiful. It's fantastic, just fantastic. So, all right, Uncanny X-Men 205 by Chris Claremont and Barry Windsor Smith. Oh, if only he could do everything. So all the time. Um, I hope you enjoyed this. I know this video was a little long, especially for single issue, although I did show more than that stuff. But I just wanted you guys to kind of see the whole Lady Deathstrike thing here. So like and subscribe. I hope you really liked it because I absolutely love this issue, and I'll be crushed if I see any that someone doesn't like it because this is just beautiful. But hey, it could be just me, but whatever. Anyway, I do thank you so much for listening. All right, goodbye.